Thank you very much, Benji Bercovitch, for agreeing to chat with us this afternoon. How are you doing, Benji?
I'm good, Rabbi. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yes, yes. I first heard about you when through your uncle Alan Berger, Alan and Judy Berger. Alan Alan is one of our regulars at our daily minyan. He's incredible. He is there so often, but he's a source of inspiration and energy. You probably realize
Yeah.
he's got so much energy and he's great. But he had mentioned to me that a couple of months ago you spent some time in Israel. That was in December time,
Yeah.
November.
Last December, December through the first week of January.
And that was only a couple of months after October 7th. What kind of work were you doing there?
So after October 7th, as you well know, the country was hit pretty hard, and a lot of the foreign labor, um, you know, uh, Thai workers, Filipino workers, even Arabs, Palestinians were no longer working in Israel.
Yeah.
So the agricultural field took a major hit. So there was some supply chain issues in terms of how quick that the different farms or moshavs could get their product out. So through Birthright, actually, there was a big initiative to get volunteers to come and go help out, dedicate their time. And I was on the second group that went, and by the time we were there, there was actually a wait list of 4,000 people hoping to go and just lend a hand in any way they could. So we went, we picked some fruits and vegetables, we planted a little bit, we did whatever work we could in the time that we were, given, and just just a way to go help any way we could, right? We kind of all felt hopeless,
Yeah.
helpless,
Yeah.
um, and we just wanted to get out there and lend a hand.
Right. And then you ended up staying a little longer than you expected to.
Yeah, so I have some friends who were called back into reserves. They went to go do their miluim. So I went to visit a friend at his base, not too far from Ramallah, over in Judea and Samaria, and went as well down to the Gaza border. Put on a this huge barbecue for a big platoon through an organization in Israel, through a man named Jeff Seidel. We went. We must have been 20 people that went down there, cooked the food, served the food, mingled. Just we danced, we sang, we did some prayers. It was an unbelievable experience just to kind of be with the soldiers in a time where morale is so important, and just to show them that they're not alone in their fight and in their defense for our country. And again, just to any small act that we could do to help was something that I think everyone as a collective we agreed was just necessary.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Alan had mentioned to me recently that you just came back from another trip. You were on a birthright, but this time you were one of the leaders. Is that?
Yeah, so I led a group. I was one of the madrichim. We led a group of 26 Canadians, mostly from Toronto, and we had 8 Israelis who are currently in the army. Most of them not in active duty, like in combat units, but they joined the group as well to kind of meet some Canadians and hear our perspective and our life stories and that kind of stuff, and kind of come together and build a connection.
So, did that trip end early, or because of all the things that are going on now, with the warnings from Hezbollah and Iran, how did that play out?
We were actually very lucky. So we landed on the night where the commander, the second in command of Hezbollah, Shukr, was taken out, as well as Ismail Hania. So it was pretty interesting because there were already threats of escalation, and so that happened. And then every day, everyone was saying, "Oh, Iran's going to attack. This is going to happen. That's going to happen." And we're actually in Haifa, which is pretty far north. So there was some speculation, some talks, but to be honest with you, we didn't really feel any of it. We probably felt safer there than we did over here. I mean, the general, I guess, vibe of the group was very relaxed, very grateful to be there, and just taking everything day by day. And Birthright's great. They're in communication with the IDF every single day. The Army's kind of tracking where each group goes so they can know if the schedule has to change, if there's a security risk. So never in any immediate danger, didn't hear any sirens. Just got a great chance to meet some really nice people. And actually on our first day there, we went to a Druze community, which was had a pretty terrible attack against them just the week prior to us being there. So it was really interesting to go meet the people there, see their culture, get to witness like these, they're not Jews, the Druze, they're Muslim sect that live in different countries, but they're all very patriotic, and some of them are actually known to be some of the best fighters in the IDF. So just to go out there and meet them and hear their story and kind of grieve with them at the same time was a really special opportunity.
Right. How does it feel to be a madrich, or one of the leaders of the trip? Do you is it a little nerve-wracking because of the responsibilities, or how in other words, how did you find that?
People say that it's what I was born to do, and I feel like it's a great honor, just to kind of demonstrate my love for the country and try to instill a little bit more Zionism in some people around my age, a little bit younger than me. And I spent a considerable amount of time in Israel, so kind of give my 2 cents on what's going on, show people around, give them good recommendations of where to go out and what to do, and just help people see that, get a firsthand experience that what they see on the news and what's going on the ground are 2 very different things.
Yeah. That's fantastic that you're so connected and so involved. That was the feeling that I had received from Alan, and certainly I think it's great that you're, as a young person, feeling this this dynamic connection to Israel. Not everybody expresses it or feels it so much, so I think it's wonderful. Do you anticipate once again, as the college season starts soon, that there'll be the ramping up of some protesting again? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it'll be very, very tense on those college campuses, especially as the United States heads towards an election. It's going to be very complicated. It's disheartening to see what we saw earlier this year. And I hope that everyone who goes back onto the college campuses, in terms of the Jewish population, feels safe and feels that that they belong. It's tough. It's heartbreaking to see that Jewish students are harassed simply for being Jewish and being blocked from going to classes and getting their education when we're thousands of miles away from the conflict. Most of us have nothing to do with it other than the fact that we are Jewish.
Yeah. It was interesting last night at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. They had a family that were talking about their own family members that were hostages. Did you catch that? Did you happen to catch that?
I didn't catch it live. I saw the recording afterwards, and I actually had the opportunity to hear Hirsch's mother speak when I was there in December. Every Saturday night in Tel Aviv, they have a protest, basically, for the release of the hostages, and it's in the Kikar Chatufim, which is the hostage square, and it was a really sombering experience. It was pouring rain. It was nighttime, and you're hearing this woman just plead for the help of her only child. We know that Hirsch has been really badly injured, and the Red Cross hasn't gone to visit any of the hostages once. So God only knows what sort of condition he is. Hopefully, he received some sort of treatment, and is still hopeful that we'll find a way to get him out.
Yeah, right. And I
Give
think
me just 1 second. We'll be right back for 1 sec.
Yes, of course. We're enjoying an interview right now with Benjamin Bercovitch, and recently returned from Israel as a madrich. And were there any points on your trip that you had to change your schedules because of?
Nope.
No.
No, we were actually really, really lucky. spent most of our time kind of in the center of the country and more down south. We spent Shabbat over in Sde Boker, which is where David Ben-Gurion is buried, which was really nice. We stayed on the kibbutz, not 500 meters from his grave, overlooking the desert. It was really beautiful. So we were lucky enough to spend some time there, kind of away from everything that's happening, and have a good chance to relax after a hectic schedule.
Yes, outstanding, outstanding. And the birthright that you were on, that you were the madricha, the counselor, the leader, was that based from Canada, or was that based? Is that an international program right now, or was it more of a Canadian connection?
So this was an entirely Toronto-based group with one individual from Montreal. They do have national groups, people from different cities across Canada. Maybe across Europe they have international groups, but I'm not so sure. So ours was entirely Canadian-based and mostly Toronto.
Do you think you might lead any more trips in the future?
If they'll have me, absolutely. If I get lucky enough to go again, for sure. I think it's an important role that I take very seriously and I take a lot of pride in. And I would love the opportunity to do it again.
I think it would be great if they chose you because of your enthusiasm and your as I mentioned, your connection, your attachment. You've certainly been there. You know the run of the land, so to speak. I was just chatting with you briefly beforehand, before we started, that you're also in business. So it's hard for you to get away because I guess you're also, as a young person, but you're in the business world.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough that I work with my father, and he's very understanding and understands my passion, and it's important for him as well. And we have a business where we deal with a lot of overseas people, so I had a chance to kind of work on the same time zone as them, answer some emails from my phone, take some calls if I had to. Our trip leader, we go with a tour guide. He was very understanding if I had to take a few minutes or like an hour or two away, just to let me kind of catch up and stay on top of things so that I can not be stressed, not have anything else on my mind, and focus on the group when the time was needed.
Excellent, excellent. Does the business have any connections to Israel at all, or that's not, you don't have any clients? Do you have any clients there?
Not yet. I'm working on one, so hopefully find a reason to go back as much as I can and bring some product to the Israeli market. That's a dream of mine and something I hope that I can accomplish in the coming year.
Wonderful. So just to start wrapping things up, we're fortunate, as I mentioned earlier, with having Alan and Judy Berger as part of our membership. They're a dynamic couple, and Alan takes great pride in the work that you do. That's how I had finding out about it in the first place. And I can see why. I think it's important. There's so many there are many young people that they're not sure of their connection to Israel. They're not sure of it, which is okay. You can't push people, but I think it's something that we have to, as a community, try to work on so that we can maintain our connections. And I guess, what do you think are the ways that we can encourage young people and even middle-aged and older people to be connected to Israel? What are the tools or methods that we could use?
I think it's a great question, and I'll give you just a bit of an anecdote or a little recap of our trip that really ties in well with that question. Is most of the group, I think 11 of the 26 individuals that were part of our group it was their first time in Israel, and to go in the middle of a war with the quote unquote imminent Iranian attack and all that kind of stuff speaks volumes to kind of where the Jewish community is right now, and the support for Israel is so strong. And it was really sad to see that those 11 people actually grew up kind of outside the Jewish community, not Jewish day school, not with a lot of Jewish friends. And as a result of what's happening, all of these young people are saying, I came because I'm kind of at a crossroads where all of my non-Jewish friends are abandoning me. Because I'm Jewish, because of my support for Israel. We had one guy, he said, 90% of his friends don't speak to him anymore. And I think it's really important for people to understand, no matter what your views are on Israel, that this new wave of anti-Zionism is masked anti-Semitism. And no matter where you are, no matter what you think, your connection to Israel is there just because you're Jewish. And people outside of the Jewish community are going to see that no matter what. So whether you support or whether you don't, we're all in the same boat. And I think a way of getting people to kind of come back to the Jewish community and understand that how important it is to uplift each other is to understand that fact that no matter how much you might have these some Jewish individuals that are part of these protests against the state of Israel, joining the encampments. Without that country, we might not be here. It's very evident. The Holocaust happened for a reason. Now we have one Jewish state, one place where anywhere you go, everyone that's there, no matter what time of day, if you need help, anyone will help you out. And I think that more people need to go and need to experience being in Israel and seeing what it is to be a part of Bnei Israel, to really just understand how important it is and what the true core values of Judaism is that we're together, we're one, and we're one nation.
Oh, wow. Very, very, very well put. I really enjoyed hearing all that. And I think you're making a lot of very good points. But any way you slice it, it's a little bit of a tough time now for let's say people your age or people who just are starting school to be in that situation. I guess it's kind of forcing them to come to the realization of a lot of things that they might not have otherwise thought about.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? To anyone going back to a college campus this fall, there are resources. There's Hillel, there's Chabad on campus, on just about every college campus, North America. I would stress, be a part of the community. Fall back on these resources because they're there to help you, and they're people that care about you and want nothing but the absolute best for young people on campus and Jews around the world. They're there to help. So definitely, those are resources you can fall back on and rely on.
I think your friend, I think you had mentioned, or maybe Alan had mentioned, or you had, I think, or in an email that you were friends with Adam Gorin, who's going to be doing hopefully looks like some work now just along those lines to with Stand With Us to try to meet the students on their own campuses to encourage them. That's another good example.
Yeah, Adam, funny enough, he's actually my best friend's first cousin, my best friend, my former roommate. So I got a chance to speak with Adam a lot, bounce ideas off each other, talk about the issue, the current conflict and what's going on, and just seeing him going around speaking from the heart and being an advocate for the Jewish community and for Zionism. I think he's doing a fantastic job, and I'm really excited to see what else he has in store for us. He's always got some good things going. Yeah, he's a great voice. I really appreciate everything he does.
Excellent. Well said. It's important to keep those networks connected, because it makes it easier when you're with other people. So it's a very good point. Well, I want to wish you continued success, and I want to thank you for taking the time. I know that this is a very busy time for you. You just got back and you're traveling for business and hard to find time to get all this done. So thank you for making the time for us. And we look forward to hearing more from you in the next couple of weeks and months. So wishing you success and thanking you for being so inspiring for all of us.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for reaching out to me. Hopefully, people will hear a little bit of my experience and, want to gain some more insight into what's going on, or other ways that they can, put their hat in the ring and do something themselves. If you have anyone that wants to reach out and ask me about Birthright or anything like that, I'm happy to give my 2 cents and put them in contact with anyone they need if they want to get involved.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Benji. And please stay in touch with us so we can continue to learn from your inspirational approach that you have. Really, really impressed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for your kind words. It means a lot.
Anytime.